Good morning, everyone. Happy summer to you. Thanks for coming in. We have the minutes from the September 24th, 2025 meeting in front of us. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those?
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. First on the agenda for applications, we have from EWR, Fargo Dakota Center LLC. And there's a note that we will have one member abstaining from the vote. Good morning, and please present. Thank you.
Good morning. Yes, thank you. Good morning, Renaissance Zone Authority. I just wanted to know if we wanted to take a minute, and Commissioner Midoff, he wants to make a brief note.
Yeah, I'll recuse myself from this vote. I'm a shareholder of this REIT, so I'll step down during this vote.
Okay. That's acceptable. Thank you, Reed.
You actually don't have to leave the time.
Yeah, you can stay here. And
Great.
we'll just have you abstain from the vote.
Yeah.
The roll call.
All right, thank you. Good morning. This is an application for a rehabilitation project of a 6-story, 106,000 square foot office building. As Chair mentioned, this is EWR Fargo Dakota Center LLC, who we received the application from. Subject property is at 51 Broadway. We're right at Broadway here and between First Avenue North and NP Avenue North. Pursuant to the application, the project includes interior work of HVAC, electrical, plumbing, life safety systems, mechanical improvements, modernization to a Class A office standard, and a retail component on the first floor. Exterior improvements include lighting, storefront modernization, painting, and window sealing and repair. This is located in Block 9 of the Renaissance Zone Development Plan within that boundary, which is identified for preservation and rehab. The applicant does state that this building has been underutilized and half vacant for 15 plus years. The current building value is a little over $10 million, and the investment is over $5 million. This is just over 50% of the full and true value, as well as it is $50.60 per square foot, and the minimum investment for a rehab project is $40 per square foot. Just a quick project note that there is some work happening in the building. It is not included as part of the application, nor are any of the dollars associated with that project scope are included with the application either. So up on your screen are 2 images of what the building looks like. These are both taken from Broadway, just street view images. And this is from NP Avenue on the south side of the building. So I won't necessarily stop too long at each of the floor plans. A lot of layout changes are happening in the 2nd and 3rd floors, and less layout changes happening on the main and the upper floors, 4, 5, and 6. The applicants can speak to that a little bit more, but so that's why there might be a little bit difference in your applications of existing floor plans versus proposed floor plans. So here, one thing I'll just point out here on the ground floor plan, this Suite 101 here is what's intended for future retail, whether that's coffee or a lunch spot, restaurant, or something like that. 2nd floor plan. 3rd floor plan, this is where there would be the amenity space. You see renderings of the amenity space in the packet. That's intended on this site here, as well as an outdoor rooftop area. And then floors 4 through 6 will remain largely the same, but have the improvements mentioned. There's some renderings of the site. Here's looking towards Broadway. So here you'll see that location that I pointed out on the ground floor for the retail. And then some additional renderings. These are not all of the renderings from the packet, but I do have the packet in case there are any questions from the board or if the applicant wants to refer to anything. So staff is recommending approval of the project and would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any discussion or any questions from any of the authority members? Okay. If none, do I have a motion for acceptance or approval or denial?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If none, roll call vote, please.
Madell? Oh, wait, sorry.
Abstain.
Recused, abstain, thank you. Matthew?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
Mahoney?
Yes.
Brashani?
Yes.
Mathern?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
The next item is another rehab application. This is at 120 8th Street South. We received an application from JS2L Partners LLP. This is across from Island Park Pool, between 7th and 8th Street South and 1st Avenue South and 2nd Avenue South. So it is at the southwest corner of the block here. So this application for the rehab project includes new elevator, new HVAC and electrical, other interior work and finishes, and perhaps some layout changes. Exterior includes new windows, roof, and metal siding. Block 23 identifies this for redevelopment, ground floor retail/commercial on 8th Street. The applicant states that the building has been vacant for about 18 months. Current building value is about $627,000, and the investment is $1.3 million. So this exceeds both the building value requirements and the cost per square footage requirements. There is also some work that has happened in the building. There's been some asbestos abatement in the building that's happened, and along with this project, there's some exterior improvements to the parking lot, and those items are also not, like the last application, are not included as part of the Renaissance Zone or part of those investment dollars as well. So this is showing the east side of the building. So this is from kind of mid-center of the block looking to the west. And then this is looking to the south along 8th Street and on the north side of the building. So up on your screen are the main and second floors of the two-story building, a little over 9,000, almost 9,700 square foot building, rehab into an office building. So here are the floor plans. There's no tenants that have been identified at this time. Here's a couple renderings of what the building will look like right now. The brick is intended to stay, but the metal, where you see primarily on the right side there in the facade, which is, I believe, 8th Street or on the south side, would have some sort of a change that they're still working through. But where that metal siding exists, that would be changed. So staff is recommending approval on this project as well, and would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
I see a good score with consistency with our planned goals and good scoring. Any questions from the group? It's always nice to see an empty spot renovated. If none, do I have a
Move to
motion
approve.
for approval? Mayor Mahoney, a motion,
Second.
second by Dean Rashani. And any discussion? If none, roll call, please.
Larson,
Yes.
Mahoney,
Yes.
Madell,
Yes.
Matthew,
Yes.
Rashani,
Yes.
Mattern.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you and good luck to that. On our agenda, we have Nicole. Thank you for presenting this morning, Nicole, bringing us up to date.
Yeah, good morning. And yes, I thought that we would take this opportunity to provide some updates on, obviously, we have some key transitions with Mayor Mahoney and Commissioner Puckhorn changing positions, and we thank both of them for their leadership. And so I've been here 19 years, and just about both of them have been part of all the Renaissance Zone updates plans that I've been part of. And so it's the vision that the commissioners and mayor have set for the use of the Renaissance Zone has been very helpful for staff as a guidance and tool. And so obviously we'll have a lot of transitions. I should mention Jim Gilmore is also retiring next week. And so, again, a lot of leadership from the planning department in the past years, as well as our elected officials. And so one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was some discussions we've had as of lately with the City Commission as part of their governance policies. So about 2 years ago, the City Commission with the City Administration was working on governance policies as a whole, and as part of that, looking at boards and commissions and advisory committees and how they've maybe could become more efficient or more consistent, if you will. And one of the topics that came up was the Renaissance Zone Authority and the Economic Development Incentive Committee, formerly known as the Tax Exempt Committee. There's a lot of similarities, as well as an applicant, such as those that you might have seen here, have needed to go through multiple steps to maybe look at how those incentives come together as part of the capital funding or capital gap funding. And so at the Finance Committee, which encompasses the City Commission, we talked about the combining of these two committees. That was blessed by the City Commission, and so we'll start a transition process with the newly elected, yourselves, and members of the Economic Development Incentive Committee. So I'm not sure what this looks like yet, but basically, in a very simplified version, at the staff level, we have a lot of duplicate staff roles with the EDIC Committee and Renaissance Zone Committee, and there's a lot of complementary activities that connect with our assessor's office, our finance department, and the planning department, and city administration, and the mayor and commissioners. And so what I hope to do is host some workshops with our newly elected and your membership, as well as the EDIC committee, and we can talk about where these roles and responsibilities and how they blend together. And so right now, I don't know a whole lot other than this is discussion, and I didn't want you to read about it in the newspaper, or also a lot of it is going to be based on future direction of our newly elected. And so obviously, we'll have some new faces and voices at the City Commission, and so they will be sworn in, I think July 6th? Yes, sign in.
They'll sign in on the 1st, and there'll be a formal before the judge on the 6th.
Thank you. And so once they have their normal operations and are up and running, we plan to host some work groups and discussions about these topics. This will, you might remember we did a little retreat that talks about the growth plan, the 2024 growth plan. There's many discussions about how incentives and or what that future vision of growth in Fargo. And one of the things our consultant CZB mentions is they have a high admiration and they see a lot of successes with Renaissance Zone, and how Renaissance Zone Authority has been used. And so what are the lessons we can learn from those tools to further talk about where incentives might be appropriate in the city of Fargo? So in the growth plan, the 2024 growth plan, we talk about growth centers and neighborhood centers. And if we think about as an example, the South University corridor, or even this recent application closer to Island Park, and what are some other geographies that might be appropriate for incentives and or consistent applications related to providing carrots for trying to get the vision that we want. And so much more discussion to come. I see some workshops this late summer, early fall, and really talking about our history, lessons learned, and how that can guide future incentive policies moving forward. And so I'm here to answer any questions. We can open this up for discussion. Michael Redlinger, our city administrator, is also here if you have other questions for him as well. But just wanted to introduce this concept to you.
Go ahead, Prakash.
When you have these two committees merged together, are you planning on keeping all the members, or?
Yeah, I think the idea is the more the merrier as we lose folks on the EDIC committee, and as people might want to retire or leave their positions on Renaissance Zone. Right now, it's just status quo. Their membership at EDIC is very small as well. And so, and we did have, you might not know, you might not recall because it's been so long, but when we kicked off the land development code process, we looked at basically a committee to talk about, a work group, if you will, to talk about the land development code. And so we had brought the Renaissance Zone and the EDIC committee together, as well as this key staff, and we hosted a workshop in the Meadowlark room with the consultants. We just had one of those meetings, and that was probably about a year ago, so I barely remember it happened. And so the future work of the land development code, the drafting of the regulations is close to being a final draft, or a draft for us to review and look at. And then as we get those regulations in place, then we want to bring this committee groups together to talk about what are some creative ways we can look to seeing if incentives are appropriate or not appropriate, and just really look at those policies.
Anything, Wade? Mayor?
It's an attempt to try to streamline our committees, but we think that the Renaissance Zone would be good with the EDC, and then you could have things presented to us. I do want to thank all of you as committee members, because you're probably the most agreeable group I've been in. Typically, we all vote the same, so I will miss that. But beyond that, we feel a lot of the incentives we do at the Renaissance Zone is very helpful. Just the two we saw today, it's really fun to see some buildings that are going to be rehabbed and fixed up, and it's worked very well. I think what the new politics will be, people will have to struggle a little bit to figure out what incentives that we will offer and what we'll try to offer. The LDC has really worked hard on that, is that some ways they feel that we should be a little bit more selective on what we choose to incentivize, but that'll be the debate for the committee. And actually, the idea is to have the Renaissance members kind of get involved with that as well, because oftentimes this committee, they always fit the criteria, and it's easy to vote yes, but it's going to be that question. The county feels comfortable with 5-year exemptions, and it'll be a question of, well, what would you do beyond that? So I think it'll be a great time, and we'll do an educational series and go through a lot of those different things. On the EDC, or in incentive committee, we worked 18 months at one time to redo it. So the latest version is actually pretty good, but it's often, you got to rediscuss it, so.
I think now would be the appropriate time to thank our mayor for all the support he's given this committee and each one of us personally, and for providing such good leadership. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Did you have anything further?
No, just
Nicole?
here for questions if you
Okay.
have those, and I'm sure there'll be many more discussions and questions to
There
come.
will. I'm thinking with changes like that and any new members coming on, there's a couple of us, maybe 2 or 3, that have been here quite a while. And we can help some of the newer committee members with history and maybe take it amongst ourselves to go out and look at some of the projects that have been completed. That was so very helpful to me, and it reminded me what this group is meant to be here for. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we
We
can
look
look at
forward
that in the
to-
future.
Yeah, thank you to, yes, for Chair Mathern and other leaders here. Yes, we're losing a lot of institutional knowledge. Staff is going to feel that. We're going to need your leadership and guidance and advice along the way.
Thank you. Any further questions of Nicole or any comments? If none, our next meeting is scheduled for July 22nd. Do we have any projects in play that you know of, Megan?
Not that I know of at this time.
Okay, so we will await your email. If nothing further, the meeting is adjourned, and thank you, everyone.